Hey guys, this is going to be an in-depth review of what I believe to be one of the best multi-tools on the market today. This is the very excellent Leatherman Blast, and this is a more kind of medium to full-size multi-tool. It weighs in right around 6.9 ounces, so what I definitely consider kind of a medium size. There's definitely bigger tools. The Victorinox Swiss tool, the Leatherman Super Tool 300, things like that. But it's definitely a full-size multi-tool. There's nothing compact or lightweight about it. So, primarily I see this as kind of maybe something you possibly would carry it as an everyday carry tool, but only really if you use it, in your everyday life. Maybe if you're a firefighter, a police officer, a soldier, anything like that where you would want to have these capabilities on you. Maybe an electrician, I don't know. However, I would say that I've talked to a contractor friend of mine, a carpenter, and he hates multi-tools. I found that very surprising. He thinks they're completely worthless. And I was really intrigued. I asked him why, and he's carried several different brands, and he says he breaks them all. I said, really? Why? And because he just uses them too hard, and to him they're useless because he has a huge toolbox in his truck, so he always has the capabilities of lots of full-size purpose-built tools with him. So you got to understand that no matter how big of a multi-tool you go with, it's still not going to be the capabilities of the purpose-built tools. So these are just going to be abbreviated versions of the tools. So just understand that. I personally love multi-tools because it gives you a lot of capabilities in a very small, compact package. So it could be an everyday carry tool. What I love this tool for is kind of a like an emergency kit tool, a bug-out bag, a medical kit, something you leave in your vehicle, anything like that, because it's affordable, but yet it's quality. You can get a lot of cheapo stuff to put in those kits, but is it really going to work when you need it? I don't know. So, it could also be a backpacking tool, something like that. But again, it's full size. If you're going to be carrying weight, you probably want to look very closely at your ounces and see if you really can take something this big. So, it is a traditional style multi-tool, just like the original Leatherman. It's meaning that all the tools are on the inside, so you have to fold it out. To get to it. On the outside, all you have is just your ruler. You have inches on the side and centimeters on the side. So that is a nice feature. I like that. So you open it up, and that's one disadvantage to this style of a tool. If you go to something more like this Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit, all the tools are on the outside. That's very convenient. You don't have to open up your tool very often unless you're going to get to your pliers. So don't discount this. This is very nice. But this is no issue. It's just a little slower. So when you get in there, your first thing obviously is your pliers. And I love these pliers. They're well built, they're strong, but yet they still come to a fairly fine point. So they're still precise. You have your wire cutters and your hard wire cutters. Now, one thing I wish this had is removable or replaceable cutters, kind of like the Super Tool 300 or like some Gerber offerings. This does not have that. Oh well, that just means that be careful, don't booger up those cutters because you're kind of out of luck. You can take a file in there and try to straighten them out and everything, but it's kind of a pain. So those will be great for cutting baling wire and things like that. But don't go cutting nails, things that it's just not meant for. Because you're just going to bend them up and then you're going to be out of luck. So just be aware of that. But excellent pliers. Now your first tool on this side is your file. Now these tools all do lock open, and it's just using kind of a standard back lock mechanism. So very nice, very proven. It's going to be strong, I think. So it's just kind of a standard file. You have your two different coarseness levels, and then the teeth on the bottom. So it's going to work well for you. Now it doesn't have the diamond coated side like the Leatherman Wave has. The reason for that is I'm pretty sure just totally cost. This is cheaper to manufacture. If you're willing to pay more money for like a tool like the Leatherman Wave, you're going to get that diamond coated side, which by the way I think is an awesome feature. It's going to be great for you know, sharpening things like axes, hatchets, tools, implements. So just a basic file. I think it's going to work fine for you. Next up is your can opener. It's well designed. It's sharp. You also have a sharpened groove there. You could probably do a lot of things with that. I'm not sure what, but it's there. So it's a little bit different style of a can opener. It's not the Victorinox style. It's more traditional style, I guess. I prefer this style because you get that little flathead, and I find they both work pretty similarly. They both get the can open well. I actually have a comparison video comparing these two different styles. You'll see it right there. But I prefer this style, but this works great. No issues with it at all. So next up you have your large Phillips driver. Now you'll notice that you have dedicated drivers in this tool. Tools like the Leatherman Wave, the Leatherman Charge, you're going to have a bit driver. That bit driver is very nice. It gives you lots of capabilities. You can put lots of different bits in there. However, that bit driver is kind of short and stubby. You can get an extension for it, so they have kind of solved that issue. However, then you got to carry that extension piece along separately in your sheath or something. So, you know, it is nice to have those bit capabilities, but these are long. You get a lot of reach for reaching into places. Sometimes with those short, stubby drivers, you're very limited. So you have a lot of reach. It's strong. It's well made. So I wouldn't feel too much at a disadvantage with this tool compared to the bit driver. I think this is going to work fine for you. So, well made Phillips head. It's going to work good. And then finally on this side you have your scissors. And some people don't like these scissors. They find them too small, I guess. I love them. They're very strong. The late Boy Scout, a great reviewer, he did a comparison comparing lots of different scissors. And these are one of the ones he used, and they work great. They're very sharp, they're strong, they can get through material really well. I have no issues with these at all. I like these a lot. Your spring's not going to break. Works good. So great scissors on there. And by the way, they make three versions of this: the Blast, the Kick, and the Fuse. The Blast is the largest of the three, and I prefer this tool. You don't gain that much in weight, and I feel that this has a lot more capabilities. I think one of the tools they emit in those smaller versions are the scissors, and trust me, I love having scissors. They're precise, they're accurate, they're easy to use, and they're better than a knife in a lot of instances. So I would definitely not give up those scissors at all. So next up on here, on this side, is your blade. And it's a well-designed blade. It's hollow ground. It's made out of 420 HC steel, which is a decent steel. I like it. It's affordable, but it holds a good edge. It's easy to sharpen. It's just a good, decent, serviceable steel. It's nothing, you know, too exotic or special, but it's going to work well for you. It's a good conventional grind, unlike those Leatherman squirts where they put that chisel grind on there. This is a good grind. Now one thing you'll notice is that if you close up your tool with your blade out, your blade's on the top. Now with a tool like this where all your tools are on the outside, you open up your blade, looking through the viewfinder here, okay, you open up your blade, it's on the bottom. This is a lot easier to use than this, because when you're cutting with this, your blade's right down on your cutting surface. When you're cutting with this, you're kind of elevated, so you kind of got to get more of a cant on it. So just something to think about. That this is definitely an advantage. It's easier to cut and use this kind of a tool than this kind. But you have your blade on there. It's going to work good for most situations, I think. Just a little bit of a disadvantage there. Next up, you have just a dedicated large flathead driver. It's nice, has decent thickness. You could do some light prying with there. You're not going to be lifting, you know, manhole covers or, you know, big things, but you could do some light prying with that. And then you also have a small Phillips head driver. if I can get it out. And also notice there's no tool clumping on here. Some tools you pull one out and they like kind of all come with it. I prefer this. They have good washers in there that keep just one tool coming out. That's nice. So then you have your small flathead driver. And then next up on here is your small bit driver. It doesn't have a large bit driver, but it does have the small one. And this is ideal for like eyeglasses. I personally wear eyeglasses, and I love this. You have a small flathead driver right there. And then you pop it out, flip it over, and you have a small Phillips head. So that's really nice. It's makes it easy to adjust your glasses or any other, you know, really small kind of micro screws, maybe things on electronics or stuff like that. So nice to have that bit driver with you. And it's, you know, one of those tools that you don't really see on any other multi-tool. At least I don't. And then you also have your saw. Now it is a thinner saw. It's not super thick, but I like that. It's very sharp. And you know, the saw is one of those tools that I've never been totally, I don't know, sure what I'd do with it until I carried one. And by the way, guys, this is my everyday carry tool. I find it funny. I always say that, you know, most people won't carry a big tool for everyday carry, but I do. It just takes discipline. You can do it though. I carry this, and what I found, it's been useful in several instances. One of them is if you're just doing yard work or something, and you just need to trim, you know, just a small branch on a tree that's getting in the way. You know, maybe you're mowing and it's in the way or something. It's nice because if you have it on your person, you can just whip it out and cut it off, and it's going to be a clean cut, so it's going to be healthy for the tree. So, you know, it's handy in that instance. Also, if you're doing any drywall work, and you need to cut out like an electrical box in a drywall or something, this works well for that too. So there's several uses for the saw like that. And then also you have a little ring that pops out, and that's going to allow you to put a lanyard on there or something like that. So it's nice, it tucks away, and if you want it, you can put a lanyard on there. And that's actually something this Victorinox doesn't have, is a lanyard position. Kind of wish it did. So you could put a lanyard on there if you wanted. You can hang this from something. So that's nice. It's more of a traditional tool. You don't get some of the bells and whistles, you know, like your tools on the outside. So it's not going to be quite as high speed. It is just slightly stiff when you get out of the box. I think most Leathermans are that way, but with a little use it loosens up a bit. So I like it overall, definitely. You know, maybe if it's something that you're going to be using all the time, you might want to spend some more money. You know, this one's around 35 to 40 bucks, which is, you know, one of the reasons I love it so much is it's very affordable. But maybe if you're going to be, you know, using it all the time, constantly using it, maybe you want to spend a little more money, get something a little nicer with a little more convenience, you know, built into it, like this Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit, or maybe like the Leatherman Wave or Leatherman Charge, where you have your blade on the outside, some nicer features like that. But for, you know, just kind of a stowaway, something to keep there just in case, this is ideal. Now your sheath that comes with it, you can get a leather sheath with it. I would not recommend that at all. I would prefer this nylon sheath, which is excellent. Very well made, and actually you can just buy Leatherman sheath just separately, just off their website. And you know, I would recommend the sheath just for lots of items if you just want a good, well-made nylon sheath. This was excellently made. It's Velcro, which you can, you know, criticize. It'll get burrs and things in it, and it will eventually wear out. But this is good quality Velcro. I have no issues with it. I like it. It's lightweight, easy to use, one-handed. So then inside here, your tool fits in there. Now, it's not the most compact sheath, or I guess form-fitting is maybe the way I should say it. You know, if you look at the sheath that came with this Victorinox, it's really not the best sheath in the world. It's alright, but it really kind of forms to the tool, and you don't have a lot of excess material hanging around. This one, you do have the sheath's a little big, but it's not too much of an issue. So the tool fits in there very nicely. You have a little elastic pockets on the sides there. You could tuck something in the side if you wanted to. Also, you have a elastic pocket in the back there, so if you wanted to put something back there. And you also have a hole in the bottom, So what that's for is if you're using your tool and you just want to, stick it in there, you can just stick it in there like that. It's not going to close, it's not going to Velcro, but you can just have it on your hip like that, and just pull it out and use it as needed. So that's a nice feature. So really nice sheath. It's going to dry, it's very lightweight. You can carry it horizontally if you want to, or vertically. And one thing that's nice about this loop is it's high up on the sheath. If the loop was like down here and you had a bunch of the sheath sticking up above your belt line, your shirt or coat and things can get caught in between your sheath and your person, your body, and so this is nice. You're not going to get stuff caught back behind this sheath at all. They do make a blackened version of this tool. If you maybe that'd be a better version for a soldier. And those come with a MOLLE compatible nylon sheath, which is also excellent. One thing I have heard about that black coating, I've never had experience with it. One thing I've heard about it is some people have actually, a lot of people, when they get their tool brand new out of package, the coating is not totally solidified or dried. So that they have to leave it for a few days, and then it's good. But when they first get it, the coating is like coming off in their hands. So that's not totally reassuring to me. So maybe Leatherman needs to do a little work on their black coating. So I mean, it'll definitely do the job, make it non-reflective, but I don't know. It sounds like they should maybe do a little better job with their quality control on their black. But I have no issues with the satin finished one at all. Now you do have polymer inserts on here in the handle there, and I think maybe some people are making an issue out of that. I have no issue with that at all. Helps keep it a little lighter weight, and it makes it comfortable in your hand to grip on there. If you had sharp metal edges on there, that'd be really bad. It wouldn't make it comfortable to use at all. This polymer is nice. It has little finger grooves, but they're not too pronounced, so if your fingers don't like fit to those, it's not an issue at all. It's comfortable, slightly lighter weight, and I think it's going to be very durable. I don't think you're going to have issues with that at all. So I have no issues with the polymer. So overall, it's excellent. I'll give you a quick size comparison to some other things, just for the sake of it. Here is a Victorinox Swiss Tool Spirit. This is probably my overall favorite medium to large size multi-tool, but this one's about twice the cost as that one. And it is thinner. This one is kind of thick. Just something to be aware of. Here is a Gerber Compact Sport. This one's about an ounce lighter than this one, but I would definitely prefer this one. These are in the same ballpark as far as price. I would definitely go for the Leatherman over this Gerber. This Gerber is, doing that out the front plier thing. I'll review out on this too, but unless you're just using your pliers all the time, I just don't see the point in that, because you're losing a lot of tools on the inside because these pliers take up so much more space this way. So definitely go for the Blast over the Compact Sport. So there's your size comparison. Here's a Spyderco Delica. There you go. Also a Kershaw Leak. We'll go with a Kershaw Skyline. And here's a Phoenix LD10. I love this flashlight. And so there you go, similar size. This is just a single AA cell flashlight. So there you go, guys. I love this tool. I think it's a fantastic option, and you're not going to go wrong with it. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave that in the comments, and I'd be happy to help you out. And everyone have a nice day.